This is a Hot Pie Media original.
Cecily Knobler is a film critic in Los Angeles, relationship expert, book author, and as always, she does this interview wearing Dallas Cowboys gear of some kind. She usually paints her face. I believe she's wearing a Troy Aikman jersey right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did
How do you know that? How can you see me? I'm just
assuming because I know you have about 6 jerseys, and I know one of them is Aikman, so I got one for 6.
I'm a Emmitt Smith girl. Like if I had to choose, I don't have to choose. That would be weird. No one makes you choose your favorite. But yeah. If I had to save someone, from a house or something, it would be Emmitt Smith.
Oh, okay. If you just happen to save someone from a house,
not even like a burning house,
just a
like
house. Right? They got to get out of there.
House together. Yeah.
Yeah. One of my kids went to camp with Emmitt Smith's son. Did I tell you this before? You get all excited about this. And so we would always be there every summer to pick him up together and, stand there, listen to the songs and stuff. And they became good friends. His son's a really nice kid. He's a nice guy.
I know where they went to school. We can say that, right?
What?
I know where Emmitt, not that I stalk Emmitt. I just know where his kids went to school because my friends went to
and
that
how
school.
They get home every day and what time they leave for school and what they have for lunch.
What they wear and what are they thinking and what do they think about me?
Yeah.
Specifically, do they like me? Do they think I'm cool?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to go here just because I don't know why it's coming to me right now. It's just something I've thought about because I had this horrible experience in my gym recently. So with a young man, not very fit, but for some reason this young man thought it would be a good time inside the locker room during lunch time with many other men around. He thought it'd be a good time to take pictures of himself in the mirror. And I was really amazed by this entire scene. Do guys really send as many or as often pictures of their junk as women say?
I don't know how to answer that because not to me they don't. Because they know it's not a safe space with me. Okay. So I think, I think it's a thing that happens.
I know that, but I hear that. In fact, I have, she's great. She comes on the show and she talks about wines. And I know now, for whatever reason, more than once in the conversation about wines, I know because a bunch of pervs start stalking. I'm sorry. Now I do know why. Because they're like stalking her. And she even just out of the blue just says, stop sending me pictures of your junk. And I thought, wow, am I that naive?
No, I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing. I had one ex-boyfriend do it and I was shocked by that. And we've been dating for 5 years. I was like, I just open up you have a new text, you have a message. And then it's like, oh God, no, put that back in. How do I unsee it? Even though I've seen it, I just didn't want to see it in that way. I don't think women, can't speak for all women, but I just don't think we like that the way that you guys like that. We don't.
Hang on.
I don't know the word. We're not like do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to see. Okay, if I'm going through the Bumble, right? I'm like flipping around through it. I don't even want to see a guy who's shirtless.
Yeah, I know. Look, you don't have to say you guys. No, that's not all guys. Some of us get it. Nobody wants to see any guy naked. No one does. Ever.
We can't say that. I mean, you have a lot of shirtless photos on Tinder, right? And I know that. And that's cool. Like that makes you happy. I don't know that. It's just something that you feel like, okay, I want them to see the real me, the whole me.
Yeah.
If you don't love me for me, then
that's right.
We're not going to work.
Because I'm oiled up all day long.
Oiled up, then different angles. And then, yes, you have the fish one, but you took it further. You had a whale at one time. Or you're trying to pick up. You can't pick up a whale.
It was a big old catfish right there. Yep.
Yeah, that, and you're shirtless from different. It's like, oh, look at this deltoid. Look at this delt, whatever it's called. And that's okay, Jeff. No one's telling you that you can't do that.
It was legitimate on it. I'm having a hard time as a decent guy. Mm-hmm. I hear this, and she said it now more than once, and I don't even know how to go there. It just all came rushing back to me at once today. I thought, is it really that much of a thing? Is it that much of a problem?
Well, I would imagine she's a little younger than me, so I just don't. I think it's if I'm in the 40 range, and so those guys just aren't doing that.
Okay,
they're just not doing it.
Wow.
As much. I have not
So it's
lovely.
it's you open up and then there it is. That's the first thing. It's hi, there you go.
It's just like, hi, how are you? Yeah, this just sometimes big, sometimes not. Yeah, it shows up sometimes. It's like a little pop-up. It's like that little thing that with the moles at the mall, you could whack a mole. Remember the little moles would pop up out of a little circle, and you would be what a violent game. Why did we play that? Where we just were like hitting things.
Right.
Anyway, that's what it reminds me of.
And the naked pics, they never, just to be clear, they never ever work. It never works. Like somebody doesn't go, that's great. I can't wait to talk to him.
Not for my friends. Maybe there are women that it works for, but I would say mostly not for women. I'm going to just say women.
Oh.
I mean, there are guys that it works for, I think.
Okay. Wow. All right.
I mean, if you really want to go, I mean, that's the whole point of Grindr.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's all you see. It's just like, instead of seeing faces, that's what you see. You choose oftentimes just from that.
Whew.
So it just depends.
Yeah. I don't know how to recover, really.
There's a lot of world out there,
Yeah,
man.
there sure is.
A lot of world.
According to you, I'm just naked on, what am I naked on?
You're on Tinder, which
okay.
is interesting because that you're looking to just kind of hook up. You're like whoever, whenever.
That's right. I leave here, just over here by the dentist office. Let's go.
Yeah. There's an embassy suite. There's a hotel nearby. I'll just go over there.
Okay.
That's what you're thinking. Hey, no judgment here. It's a safe space.
Yeah. So I guess we should have expected the lawyers for this poor cinematographer that was shot on the site of the movie. I mean, now floating the idea that the bullet was put in there on purpose?
What I understood, I may have read that wrong.
Okay.
I thought it was the lawyers of the armorer who are floating that idea.
I'm sorry, you're right. You're exactly right. It's the armorer who's the person you perfectly described. Every set that has a gun has to have someone inspecting it for union rules. They're saying
head of safety. Yes. So they're floating the idea that because it was this perfect storm of events, one being that there was just about to be a union strike, one being that a lot of people on crew were unhappy with safety conditions and hotel conditions, and all, which we'll get to. And they did take off that day, as we talked about. So they're sort of saying, well, the crew didn't do their job. And they're also floating the idea, the wardrobe lady, I don't know if you saw that, Alec reposted her very lengthy Instagram about how the set conditions were just fine. Nothing was wrong. And all the hotels and these people were complaining because they weren't 5-star, but they don't have to be 5-star. And everybody's turning on everybody, and it happened real fast. But the fact that the armor, I mean, I can't even blame herself for what her lawyers are saying. That's lawyers. That's a theory. They're trying everything they can to get her out of
I mean,
this.
come on. I mean, okay, so their public defense of their client is, because their client, by every measurement, is completely incompetent in this case, correct?
Agree. Yes.
I mean, there's virtually no defense for her incompetence. Someone died because of her incompetence. So they're suggesting she's been framed?
That is something they're floating out. That is something they're putting out into as they discuss it. Yes, they're saying it is a possibility it was sabotage.
Okay.
By who? We don't know.
Yeah. Help. I mean, the motive to frame the armorer is what?
Well, some speculate, the conspiracy theorists would speculate that it's the people that felt that their working conditions were not good enough and they wanted to prove, or maybe the non-union versus union, because, remember, again, we talked about last week, this film was so low budget, which a lot of people, that's a huge thing. And that goes to the top, that goes to the producers. It was low budget, so they couldn't pay the right people to take these jobs. Other people had been offered the armorer job and they turned it down because and I know that they were on CNN talking about that they turned it down because it just wasn't enough money to go to New Mexico and do this stupid indie shoot when they could do better jobs. And so they got who they could get. So that's going to be, everybody's pointing the finger now, including Alec, who he needs to take a breath. Like, I know he went to Vermont. He needs to stay in Vermont and be quiet for 2 months.
And that doesn't seem like him. He feels like he's a nut. I mean, I'm not saying he purposely murdered someone by any stretch.
Absolutely not.
But he feels like I feel like his nuttiness is sort of coming out now.
nuttiness is a nice way to put it.
Okay.
It is not his fault what happened. It's not the actor's fault. We talked about that. So that's just off the table. However, he doesn't come across, he's so unsympathetic because he's just such a blowhard or whatever. I mean, did you see the video with his wife?
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. What in the hell?
She's insane. I mean, I'm so
they're
sorry.
insane together. I don't, you're the relationship expert. I don't like the chances for that one. Okay.
I do not either. Did you watch the whole thing? It's actually pretty long. It's like 10 minutes.
You describe to people that have not seen this how much of a train wreck this sort of news conference was.
I mean, it was like an SNL sketch. I mean, I laughed. Okay, so what happened was he took their family because they'd been hounded by the paparazzi, who I hate, by the way. They're no heroes either. And they're, chasing them around. So they went to Vermont, to their family home, I guess, in Vermont, just to chill and get a little bit away from the situation with their kids, understandably. So at one point they pull over the side of the road and I guess she calls over the paparazzi all aggressively. They come over. It seemed this kind of new young guy, whoever the reporter was. He wasn't that tough on him or anything. And she then decides, which is very common, they both are filming the paparazzi. So they're like, we'll have this conversation, but we have to film it too, just in case you try to add something or make it look like we said something that we didn't say. And that's totally fair. That's legal reasons, really smart to do. However, he's already doing it. Alec is doing it. He's filming the guy's filming him. Alec's being calm. He's like, yes, it's a tragedy. What questions do you have? I'll try to answer them. He's trying to be nice. The wife, with her little iPhone, she just keeps sliding into the shot like sideways. Like it's like a joke.
It's a joke.
Honestly, and she keeps going in front of him and she's all serious. And Alec keeps saying, hey, stop it.
Yeah.
He keeps kicking her out. And then when she gets kicked out of the shot, she keeps sideways, like going out as well. Like she never turns her back, like as though something's going to happen to her. She does it like 5 times and she keeps answering for him. And finally he's like, honey, let me answer the question. Like he's mad at her.
Yeah.
And
well, for pretty good reason. I mean, it was so over the top and crazy. It looked like a joke.
It looked like a joke. Her eyes were all wide. And then also they both yelled at the reporter because they kept saying the DP and they were like, she has a name. Do you not know her name? And it's like, okay, bro, like, let's not look, we're not blaming you, but you did just kill her. So like, let's just accidentally, but my God, he's now yelling at the reporter.
Yeah, no. It's just such a
it's not going to help. It's not going to hurt him legally because there's nothing that he said.
Right.
But, in the court of, public opinion, as they say, he's just not a likable guy.
I mean,
he's just not.
I know. And frankly, neither is she. And I didn't know who she was until that little scene there. I'm thinking, I don't like you either. No wonder you two are headed for divorce. You're crazy.
She was in the news a few months ago for, it turned out she'd been faking a Spanish accent her entire life. You don't remember that? It was amazing. She was in an interview and she's like, oh, how do you say, what is the English word for? And she was completely born and raised here. That was how do you say in English, she said, when she was talking about something.
No.
And she's absolutely, I believe, from New Jersey.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to her. Her name's, is it Hilaria or Hilaria?
I don't even know.
It's Hilaria.
I saw it. I'd never heard of her before. I didn't know this fake accent. I mean, your whole life, you had a fake accent your whole life?
Yeah.
Never slipped up?
They've spoofed her on SNL. I think it's going to be tricky on this one because this is just too terrible, but they might find a way. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. He was, the Trump thing got old after a while. He's great on SNL.
He was great. He was great on 30 Rock. I mean, that's
he's a talented guy. Is this it? I mean, I'm not saying he's a murderer. I'm not suggesting anyone is, but is this it for SNL for him?
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, he's not really a regular on the show. It was just, I guess when Trump, Trump starts appearing again, he'll show up. But I think he'll be on SNL until he wants to not be. I think he'll keep working. He'll make other movies as well. He should. He's a talented, if we can separate, we've separated the art from the artist even with him before.
Right.
I never thought, remember he was caught on tape yelling at his own child.
Yes.
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
And he worked immediately. I mean, there was never even a break for him.
Well, his wife seems to be as crazy as he is.
Absolutely. And this is not his first wife. I mean, he's been married, this quite fifth wife, I want to say.
I don't know. I don't. Again, you're the pro, but I don't like their chances based on that little skirmish they had right there. That is not going to go well in the car.
Also, I know, not for nothing, and I know this isn't part of it, so I don't want to sound like a jerk here. But they're driving their big whatever BMW SUV. She's wearing I noticed these diamonds because I don't have them, so I notice when there's a big 10-carat rock on your finger.
Yeah.
She's got that flashing around. She's got diamond earrings. That's taking a step too far. You get up, it's 8 a.m. in Vermont. You just put on your diamond earrings. It's like, if you guys are as rich as you are, which you are, right? Mm-hmm. Then more money, if Alec was the producer, more money should have gone into this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying everything that is hers should be theirs. I believe she has a right to wear beautiful jewelry, but I don't know. You're just shuffling your kids around and it's early morning and raining. Why do you have to take time to put diamond earrings in?
Yeah. It's not a very LL Bean look, is it, in Vermont?
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be, but I'm just saying in terms of this situation, is like, oh my God, all these people didn't make enough money. That's why they walked. That's why the set was just, in utter chaos all the time. Like, I don't know, maybe take $1 million, sell those earrings. Let's get somebody paid over there. That's how I see it. Because he's the producer.
Yeah. All right, movies, shows.
Yeah, we got a big one.
Have you watched the Colin Kaepernick? What is your takeaway on the Colin Kaepernick Netflix thing?
I haven't watched it yet. I've actually heard it's really well done. Did you see it?
I saw the part about comparing NFL players to slaves, and I thought it was despicable.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I will watch it.
I thought that little clip that they've rolled out that has received so much attention was not only offensive on its face, what he tried to do, but the filming of it was so cheesy. It looked like a 9th grader did it. Like this thing where you have this guy in this over-the-top garb who's a slave owner shaking hands with an NFL owner, and they're both just, it's overdone. And then in the middle of them is this Colin Kaepernick in a black suit narrating. It just looked like something. They
had like some kind of reenactment of that?
Yes. And in the background was this cheesy-looking green screen of these slaves in a cotton field. I thought, did some high school kid do this?
Wow. Yeah, that's...
I mean, the rest of it, his story, what bothers me is the story. I know most of his career. And it's an interesting story. He's an interesting guy. And, I think a documentary or whatever this is supposed to be could be really insightful. And I found that segment, one, the comparison pathetic and despicable, but two, the I don't know if cinematography is the right way to put it. It looked so cheesy. It was laughable.
Yeah, I can't. First of all, I have issues with, did we talk about my documentary issues? I like them when they're well done. There's some that are good, some that are bad. But I was watching one recently where there was just so much filler. They'd be talking about something and they're like, and then we took a plane to Paris, and then they have to show an old timey plane.
Yes, filler. That's a good one. Yes, that's exactly what this was. It looked like filler.
And you're like, I don't need to see the Wright brothers. I understand that you took a plane to Paris. You have to do an old timey sped up, sepia toned. It's just bad. It's cheap. Yeah. You're right. It's very
filler is. I think yes. I think filler is the right term. Yeah. I got some space and I got some time and I need some eye candy. So just anybody got anything like pictures of stuff?
It's stock footage because usually they don't have a lot of money to make these. They're not all Michael Moore, so they don't have this funding. And so, they have to use stock footage and they're just like, God. Oh, one time there was one I was watching and they're like, so I called him. They're telling a story. They called him and they show this, they cut to a reenactment of somebody using a rotary phone. It's like, guys, can't even use a cell phone on this one. It's modern day. A rotary phone.
That is exactly what this sequence is. He's standing there in this dramatic way talking about in the NFL, you might as well be a slave. And then, of course, behind him is these obvious actors like picking up cotton.
Right.
And, it's
God, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. I didn't mean to. That's my job. I've only seen 7 minutes of it, and it was just. It ruined it probably for me.
Yeah.
John McClellan is the co-founder and creator of ATX Hot Sauce in all 50 states, now in several retail outlets as well. So we're going to turn it over to the social media rock chef superstar, and we're going to walk through a few sauces and why you should buy. We've done beet heat, so we're second in line now for the tasting. Don't forget, everyone, go to atxhotsauce.com. So here we go.
All right, so this one is our smoked habanero 5-pepper. We smoke habaneros with ancho, pasilla.
Is that going to hurt?
This one? No,
Yeah.
This one's actually really, really good.
Okay.
This is like your traditional tapatilla, but without the vinegar in it, right? And because of that fermentation process that we've talked about all the time. This one is great on sandwiches, pizzas, things like that. Great on hot wings. I think you're going to really like this one too, especially the smoky flavor with the adobe chipotle and the smoked habaneros. We actually smoked the habaneros before we.
Does that go with the cab?
This would not go with the cab. This would go with the great Chenin Blanc, though.
I teed you up with that one.
Yeah.
That is good. That's good.
Isn't that good? It's just classic take. Well, it's a new take on a classic item. So it's called smoked habanero 5-pepper.
All right, don't forget
One of my favorites.
Don't forget atxhotsauce.com.
I'll check it out. And now there's a thing I may have told you about. I think it's IFC. It's Bill Hader and Fred Armisen documentary. Now it's called. It's one of my favorite shows, and they make fun of documentaries. That's the whole show. Like each episode is a different documentary that they're mocking, and it's great. So if anyone wants to, it's
what's it called?
Documentary Now. For some reason, that's what
I think
it's called.
Bill Hader's hilarious.
He's great, and Fred Armisen is just amazing. And they play off each other so well, and it just spoofs the whole idea of a documentary. So sometimes it's, one episode will be one about music, a band that broke up, and one's about a restaurant trying to make it in South America. It's just great. It's really great.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, the whole space is just, is it overdone, or is it overdone in the wrong way?
There's so many good ones. So, I mean, I think it's just like any movie. There's so many good movies and so many bad movies. And we can't judge documentaries by the bad ones, but they do stand out because it's like they're copying and pasting. They're cut and pasting from other people's thing, and it's not authentic. And it's super cheesy.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's not a lot of money goes into that too. So they have to use that stock footage, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, you're really going to love this one then, because it's just, not only is it offensive to even compare the two, I'm just shocked that he's been able to get away with not being criticized for this, because I just ripped it. I thought, first of all, it's an industry you begged to be a part of. You complained that they kicked you out, and now you're saying it's slave. I mean, what?
You work really hard to get there, and you're paid what,
minimum salary $600. Really? Mm-hmm. And I hate to break it to him, not every player is black. Not every one of them is black. So stop it. Right.
I wonder, I'd have to see it to comment, because I don't know exactly what his angle, and I appreciate him politically. I do. I think, kneeling was the most beautiful, nonviolent way that he could say, hey, we got to make some changes here. So I appreciate him for that, but documentary wise, I'd have to see it, but I will.
Okay.
I'll see it. And then we can fight about it then.
Okay.
This week, Marvel/Disney, The Eternals. I know you're excited about that.
Yes.
You might be, actually.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh, dang it.
That's all I got. No, it's just another movie. I mean, it's another thing where just a different group. Now it's different people. They assemble. They have to fight injustice. I don't know how many more people there are left to assemble.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I'm a nerd, and I'm starting to wonder, man, how many more times can we all get together?
But different groups. It's like, okay, now the band geeks, you're going to fight the paparazzi. That's it. And then we're done. No more assembling. There's no more people. You're all in a clique. So they have this. They're going to fight injustice. Let's say a zillion years. It's like 7,000 years or something in this. Angelina Jolie, that's the big deal that she's in this, always doing sort of her mock English accent for no reason.
Yeah.
Selma Hayek, Gemma Chan. I mean, the cast is actually great. And, you've probably heard this so far. It is the worst rated movie in the Marvel universe on Rotten Tomatoes, for whatever that's worth. It doesn't mean that much anymore. But I'm going to tell you, I didn't hate it as much as some of the other critics. I'm better than them. We know that, right?
Sure, of course, yeah.
Don't come for me, Pete Hammond. Is that the Rolling Stones guy? I'm kidding. But yeah, the film is bloated. It's self-serious. It's far too long. But the director, Chloe Zhao, and she's the one who did Nomadland last year, which I loved. Thought was beautiful. There's a lot of lovely shots and a few interesting ideas. It's far from the best Marvel movie. It would definitely be near the bottom, but it's absolutely not the worst. I'm going C. It's average. It's opening wide in theaters and will be available to stream in about a month, maybe 45 days.
Does it matter? I'm trying to think when I have these nerdy comic book debates with two of my sons. Does it matter? I mean, is it if you just get the Marvel gang together, it's good. Whatever. I mean, all you artists are trying to overanalyze it. Just give us our characters and we're good. Is that kind of the thinking behind marketing of these?
Well, to some degree, though. But I think there's such an audience for this, and people really know their stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you do have to make it good. Now you can't just slap anything out. And this is, like I said, it's too long. My main complaint is it's too many people also. So it's bloated. There's just too many characters and you can't really keep up.
Right.
But also it's so self-serious. And I know we have talked about this. There are movies like Joker. I always bring Joker up because I think it's kind of a perfect film, honestly. And that went a different way. They were like, we're going to make a real movie here. This is not a joke. It's, that was flawless. But, the Marvel universe is a little bit different, and they do tend to have a little more of a wink. They don't have to. They can make whatever they want, but this just had no wink. It just felt like, if I had to compare them, it felt more DC, which it's not. And it just felt like, a little joyless. There's a couple moments that are a lot of fun and you laugh a few times, but for the most part, it was just like, come on, guys, it's still a comic book. It doesn't have to, unless you're making something like Joker and you're just going to go, I'm going to make it like a Scorsese film. It's going to be a whole different thing.
Okay.
He doesn't fly, it's just a different.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm a little above average. I'm not saying I loved it, but I just think people are tearing it apart because they wanted to tear something apart. I think that's what happened there.
Okay.
Also opening, this is kind of a big one. I've been plugging this for a while, is Spencer. This is the fictional look at the 3 days over Christmas in the life of Princess Diana. So these 3 days didn't really happen. It's imagined, what her Christmas would be like. When they were casting this, I feel like they were like, who can we get to play Mopey? Keira Knightley, and then they're like, no, we have to have an American for Princess Di. I mean, it makes no sense. We must have an American, and it has to be one that's had a vampire werewolf like threesome. Okay, K-Stu, that's who it is. She does look like her. I will say the hair, makeup, wardrobe did a phenomenal job, and it's not, and she's fine. The buzz was that it's the best performance of the year. It's her best performance ever. Honestly, it's just K-Stu doing K-Stu. And I like her. I do like her, but she's Princess Di, so she's mopey, and she pulls her. She just keeps. It's a lot of shoulder work. She keeps moving her shoulders around. She might as well just kick a rock. She's sad. She's upset. She doesn't like. I don't want to wear the pearls. It's just. I don't know. And I imagine she'll get a nomination for this, and that's totally cool. She deserves it. I think my expectations were really high, and they weren't quite met.
The point of the movie is how down she was.
She's very down. She
Okay.
was near. It's maybe 10 years into the marriage.
Yeah.
We all knew. I think I was like 4, and I knew that Charles loved Camilla. She married him, and she knew that. I'm sure it's sad. It was a sad, lonely life living in that.
But the
huge,
fact that it's
castle.
Princess Di, that just makes it marketable no matter what.
Well, I think what people want to see, first of all, yes, she's beloved, but I think it's that they want to see K-Stu do it. And there are moments and angles where she does look just like her. She's wearing a little hat and she looks up and she looks like her. The accent's fine. She does a fine job. It's hard not to see K-Stu come through because she's got such a strong presence about her, and so you just see her. She doesn't like lose herself in the role as they were saying to me. I see a lot of her. Me, I'm mostly looking at the corgis, like the Queen's little dog, the corgis that are running around. So the buzz has been so high, and I was just like, expectations need to be lowered just a little bit. I am an Anglophile, so I enjoyed it because I loved looking at like the production design. Really, I can't stress enough how beautiful it is. Just the shots are lovely, and just I love seeing the costumes and the insides of castles. I think that's like my favorite thing, really.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, on a personal note, I enjoyed watching it, but if you're not into all that, then there's not much there for you. She's She's just not happy. She is not a happy princess.
Okay.
As you know.
Yeah.
So I'm slightly below the curve with this. We'll say C+. I'm still saying you should see it. But on Netflix, this is the big one. This is Red Notice. It stars The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and it's Gal Gadot, not Gal Gadot. It's Wonder Woman. Cast isn't with a cast like that. I thought it would just be a no-brainer. Like, there's no way they can fail. It's an action comedy, by the way, kind of a heist thing.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I am shocked. I am absolutely. I sat down. I was so excited to watch it. I was seeing the credits. I'm like, oh my God, these guys. Ryan Reynolds never fails. It's so bad. I can't. And the budget on this was allegedly close to 200 million. 200 million, somewhere between 150 and 200 million, and it's that bad. I have to tell you about it.
Netflix poured 200 million into that.
Well, they've got it. It may have been a little bit less, but yeah, with actors like that. Well, here's the thing. It is coming out in theaters today. It's limited theaters, and it will be on Netflix next Friday streaming. So, I mean, I think because it was getting a theatrical release, which is something they do now a little bit, and it's not just streaming on Netflix.
What's it about? They're the Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing?
Kinda, yeah. They have to go to Egypt and uncover Cleopatra's lost egg. See, when I say the words, and I'm not putting that down. Look, it's a kind of aimed to kids. I think it's one of those old 80s heist movies that we would have maybe liked when we were younger. Yeah, but it doesn't even have heist that though, because it's one of the. It felt like it was. I've noticed this a lot lately, where actors are not looking in the right direction. They're looking in the wrong camera. I don't know why lately it's just, and I feel like The Rock wasn't always looking at the right place, and and I don't really buy him in these romantic situations that they're putting him in a lot. And I don't know. It just they were all seemed to be in a different movie. And I'm going to say something else that might upset people, but Gal Gadot, who I think is lovely and beautiful and a wonderful Wonder Woman. But she's not a very good actress.
Okay.
Am I crazy? She's not great.
What is a good heist movie? Now that you talked about that as a category, I think you're right. There are a lot of heist movies, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's cool. What's a good one? I
mean, there are so many good ones, but what comes
Ocean's 11, was that a good heist movie? The first one?
I mean, I don't recall. I know I saw the original, and I don't recall it. But I mean, I love. I do
remember the original. But I'm going back to the first one with Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Soderbergh, when Soderbergh.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was good. Is that a good heist movie?
I thought it was fabulous.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, again, sometimes it's sort of where you are in your life, how young or old you are. But I mean, the Ocean's movies are good examples because they are so. I mean, and this is too. Red Notice is very silly. It doesn't take itself incredibly seriously.
What was the one Pierce Brosnan did where he's sort of he's a rich guy who steals art, and then what's your name? Was that good?
Oh, yeah. Was that one kind of recent, I believe? I mean, I guess there's always
I think we might be old. I think we are, like you said this. Now, all these heist movies were a long time ago, but that was kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. That wasn't Logan Lucky. I'm trying to remember which one that was. But yeah, I mean, look, it's all kind of the same. It's like what we were saying with documentaries. You've got to do something a little bit different to stand out. I mean, and that's hard to do.
It reminds me of a movie that I thought was different. And again, maybe it was late at night. I don't know why I thought it was good. It had Mark Wahlberg, George Clooney, I can't remember, and they were soldiers. They went to steal a treasure or some art, and I want to say in Afghanistan or Iraq, and it was about them going back. Three Kings, I think it was called.
Oh, Three Kings. If you're talking about the David O. Russell movie, yes, that is Three Kings, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and would they go right? Fan. I mean, would they go back to they? It's a pretty interesting concept. They're soldiers and they know where this stuff is. I mean, it's kind of that's a great movie to go revisit. I think any of David O. Russell's movies are great. But the other thing, there was a lot of strife on that set. Speaking of set, is that right?
We're talking about Rust. Yeah, I mean, Clooney punched the director.
Wait, what?
In the face.
What?
Yeah. Look, there's so many stories, and nobody's denying these stories. I mean, this doesn't seem to be urban myth. David O. Russell is known to be just kind of a jerk, and he's not nice to his actors and really not nice to the extras. And he can just be really difficult. And Clooney is not, he's the opposite of that. He's right. Mr. Sunshine. Honestly, he really is. And he just got mad that how he was treating everybody, the crew and everybody. And he just went up and he punched him in the face. There was a whole fist fight. I mean,
okay, so I'm not, it may have been a lot of Cabernet, but so I'm not wrong. It was a really cool movie.
It's a great movie. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, it's a fascinating. I just remember thinking that's like something like an old good World War, most World War II movies are bad, but there's like an interesting spin-off. Wow, that's probably happened. I mean, whether it's drugs or art or whatever fortune, these guys are soldiers. They I don't remember all the premise, but they know where this stuff is, and then they're going to go back and get it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good for people who haven't seen it to go back. I want to say it was Universal, so it might be on Peacock, but look for it.
Okay.
Probably Amazon. Another good one was Inside Man. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, so don't ask me to give you plots and stuff, but I feel like that was pretty good. I'm just thinking.
Heist movies.
I mean, there's many bad ones like Here's a Bat Tower Heist was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yes.
What happened there? How can someone get it so wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
Okay, last question. What did you think of Ocean's 8, when they did the female?
I didn't. Heist. I thought after. Look, I'm a Sinatra person. I'm a Sinatra nerd. I'm an expert on Sinatra, and I was bothered that there was going to be a remake. The first one I thought was campy and stylish, but it was Sinatra, and it was But so I was bothered that they even did the remake. But I came away saying, I know. I came away saying, wow, it's pretty good. They did it as stylish as the original. I'm cool with it. After that, I think they were just stupid.
Right.
I mean, every one of them after that was stupid. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. There's no, hey, it's safe space.
Well, you've already said I'm shirtless on Tinder or something.
So send it now. Listen, now's the time.
Okay, let me get my phone. Let me go right now. Let's get some shirtless photos and start blasting them out there.
You said you were very raw and open about how you feel about the Ocean's movies, and that's fine. And now's a good time to snap a shot of yourself, maybe from the back, no shirt, from the back.
The butt cheeks.
And we'll filter it. We'll get it all nice before we get it up there.
The butt cheeks?
No. I think we don't do a butt cheek.
Well, this guy in the locker room was doing butt cheeks. He's flexing the triceps. He weighs about 120 pounds. I thought, is this a joke? Is this really a joke? Is this happening? And there he was. And I thought, who is on the receiving end of this? This poor woman, girl, whatever. No, buddy, no. Right here now.
Maybe it was he was in the mirror, so
it was in the mirror. It was in the mirror, stand-up mirror, and he thought it's lunch break. He just got a big, did some curls or something, and it's time, and then there it is, right there, the butt cheeks.
We laugh, but someday he and his grandkids are going to look back at that. It's going to be in the photo album. They're going to go someplace and print that out, and they're going to put it in the little Christmas album, and they're going to be happy they had a picture of
I felt like,
him.
I had this internal battle going on as I'm sitting there, and sort of the father in me started to come out. I thought, you know what? Maybe I need to go over there and say, come here, let's sit down and talk for a second. It's not cool. Okay, no one's going to like it. Son, you got a sunken in chest, some back acne. You don't look that great.
Oh, no.
We can't go here, son. Let's put some clothes on. I feel like I've given the speech to my son before. You got to dress like a man. You got to put on a coat and tie sometimes. Open the door it's time to man up a little bit. I feel like going over to the guy and say, listen, I don't know you. But come sit down with me for a second. Okay, I got to talk to you.
Come sit down with me. I would skip that step. Naked. If I were you, I would not do that.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just telling you this internal battle I was having. My first inclination was, I got to help this guy out. I got to help this kid right here. He's 28, probably put a name tag on for Best Buy as he leaves here. Got to go sell some refrigerators. And right now he thinks that his 120-pound butt cheeks are going to get him a date tonight. And I need to talk to him.
I don't, you know what? I'm actually for that. The only thing I
in the locker room, we're arm in arm. We're arm in arm in the locker room. Yeah. Son, this is not the way to go through life.
Son, trust me, you're going to hate me right now, but what I'm about to tell you is it's going to help you. Yeah, I think that's great. I think you don't go through all the things that are wrong with them. Don't mention the back acne. I think that's just kind of mean. Okay. Just say, hey, whoever you're sending this to, I think you have the wrong idea of what women are looking for.
Get a dog, some fish, a hunting rifle, and then you're fine.
A hunting rifle. Yeah, here it's just a lot of guys doing yoga. Y'all have you have more of the rifles and stuff. We have a lot of
what a cliche.
I keep saving them and then I don't have them ready to go. But next week, please remind me. I have a couple screenshots and I'm going to share that. I won't use names or anything, but I just have to read you some of these.
You need to do that. That'll be good.
I will.
Yoga.
I know I keep saying it, but I will do it.
The yoga photos, really?
Oh, there's a lot of them. Yeah.
Oh,
there's a lot of yogis.
Please.
Los Angeles, man. Namaste.
They've been to like one half of one class and some Groupon thing, and now they're acting like they're yogis.
Yeah, they're wearing those I don't know, kind of ponchos, you know?
Oh,
you can see all of their chest. Yeah, and they're kind of sitting there just, and they don't have time. Jeff, they don't have time for drama. That's what they say. We've talked about that in the pro, where they get mad at you in their own profiles. They're like, no drama. Come with your stuff together. You better be together. And then I love the code words too. It's like, you better be fit. I like fitness. It's like, I get it. No fatties. I get what you're saying.
Right.
And it's fine. You can say be fit. I'm not fit though. And I'm not overweight. So what is it? Do they mean I have to be able to do Everest, or
they're wearing the poncho doing yoga? Oh my gosh.
Yes, like the tie dye. So there's a lot.
Please.
Or poses. You'll see like a lot of triangle poses.
Okay, so next week you're going to bust out with
yes,
the profiles.
Yes, I'm going to share. I think it's
You may have received a picture from the guy. There he was in the gym. Maybe you've seen him. Maybe you like him. I hope. I don't know. Maybe.
There's a lid for every pot. You know what I mean? He might be my lid. We don't know.
Wow. Wow. Those are famous last words there.
Yeah. That's the last thing Cecily Knobler ever said.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll try that on my kids too. See how that plays out. Son, what is it again? There's a lid for every pot.
There's a lid for every pot.
And they're
you're going to have to give that speech to them. So there's going to be a girl they'll like. Somebody they'll like someday, and they won't like them back. And you have to say, you have to keep trying.
And that's when I say,
there's a lid for every pot. That wasn't your lid.
And pat them on the back and walk off.
And let's go do some yoga.
Yeah. All right. As always, good stuff. Look forward to the dating profiles next week.
Me too. Thank you.
All right, Barb.
From the Hot Pie Media Studios in Austin, Texas, it's the Jeff Ward Show. Listen at jeffwardshow.com.